At 77, Tom Selleck isn't fading into obscurity. He's stepping back for a reason that's as heartbreaking as it is deeply human. After nearly 5 decades in front of the camera, from Magnum P.I. to Blue Bloods, Selleck has announced he'll be saying goodbye to the role that's come to define him, New York Police Commissioner Frank Reagan. But this isn't a career-driven choice or a ratings stunt. The sad reason behind his farewell is woven through the threads of family, love, and unexpected loss. The story begins more than 40 years ago, when Selleck first strapped on those Hawaiian shirts and Magnum's signature mustache strutted onto our TV screens. He wasn't the typical action hero. He exuded warmth, compassion, and a wry sense of humor that made viewers feel safe in his capable hands. He brought that same authenticity to Blue Bloods, portraying a multi-generational family of cops led by his unflappable patriarch, Frank Reagan. Season after season, audiences tuned in to witness Reagan's unwavering moral compass, his late-night counsel with his sons, and the quiet moments he shared with wife Mary, played by the beloved Bridget Moynihan. Off-camera, Selleck cultivated a life rooted in privacy, ranch life in California, and a decades-long marriage to Jillie Mack. They built a family on mutual respect, shared passions for horses and country living, and a commitment to charitable causes. While Hollywood buzzed around them, they tended vineyards, supported veterans organizations, and raised her 2 children from a previous marriage, turning their Malibu estate into a sanctuary far removed from flashing bulbs. Then, earlier this year, tragedy struck. Jillie, always active and adventurous, received a diagnosis that none could foresee: a rapidly progressing neurological illness that erodes both memory and mobility. Overnight, the couple's world shifted. The horse stables and vineyard became a backdrop for medical appointments, therapies, and moments of deep vulnerability. For a man accustomed to portraying strength on screen, the toughest role was now one he faced at home: full-time caregiver. When the news reached CBS executives, they understood the gravity. They offered to write Frank Reagan out mid-season or pass the baton to another actor. But Selleck refused any quick fix. He wanted to honor his character's integrity and his wife's dignity. Rather than simply cut and run, he asked for a graceful exit, one that respected decades of storytelling and gave viewers a heartfelt farewell. He collaborated on a storyline in which Frank Reagan returns home to upstate New York, choosing family over duty, echoing his real-life decision to be by Jillie's side. That storyline became the most anticipated arc in Blue Bloods history. Fans cried as Frank embraced Mary in the final scene, promising they'd face tomorrow's unknowns together. The line between fiction and reality blurred. Viewers sensed the authentic love funding every frame. In making this choice, Selleck showed us that the bonds we form off-screen can shape our on-screen legacy more profoundly than any scripted twist. When discussions began with CBS, Selleck's focus remained unwavering: ensure that his final episodes would honor both his character's journey and the real-life compassion driving his decision. Writers and producers, many of whom had worked alongside him for years, recalled how he insisted on authenticity over sensationalism. He rejected early drafts that featured dramatic shootouts or contrived cliffhangers. Instead, he wanted quiet moments: Frank Reagan in solitary reflection, family dinners punctuated by heartfelt toasts, and gentle pacing that mirrored the ebb and flow of caregiving days. To him, those small scenes carried more weight than any explosion or high-stakes arrest. Behind the camera, the mood on set shifted. Crew members who had long admired his professionalism felt the emotional current of his choice. During breaks, some whispered about how Selleck would slip away to phone Jillie, checking on her comfort during treatment sessions. Others watched in awe as he returned each afternoon with the same calm presence that defined Frank Reagan, an unspoken reminder that real life can be just as heroic as any scripted act. It wasn't uncommon for the soundstage to fall silent when a tender family scene wrapped, as if everyone needed a moment to process the poignancy of watching both character and actor say farewell. As the farewell episodes filmed, Selleck took time to mentor younger cast members. He offered guidance on delivering emotionally complex performances with subtlety rather than stilted melodrama. His conversations often drifted back to partnership, how his decades-long marriage had taught him that love is a verb, demonstrated through presence, support, and sacrifice. Castmates like Donnie Wahlberg and Bridget Moynihan later spoke of his quiet leadership, crediting him for transforming a potentially traumatic storyline into a powerful testament to loyalty and love. Promotion for the final episode struck a delicate balance. Trailers emphasized the Reagan family's bond and teased the bittersweet homecoming without revealing every nuance. Instead of dramatic taglines, CBS ran short clips of Selleck's candid interviews about life, legacy, and why family must come first. These spots felt less like marketing and more like personal letters to viewers, reminders of the real connections that had formed between audience and show over the years. When Blue Bloods aired its swan song finale, ratings soared. But beyond numbers, social media lit up with tributes that blurred the lines between actor and character. Fans posted side-by-side photos of Frank and Jilly, celebrating the love they represented both on and off-screen. Hashtags like #ThankYouTom trended, as viewers shared how watching those final scenes inspired them to spend more time with their own families. Community forums abounded with stories of people rearranging schedules to honor parental caregivers or reaching out to loved ones they hadn't spoken to in years. For Selleck, the public response was secondary to the quiet victories at home. In the weeks following the finale, he and Jilly welcomed dear friends for small gatherings, savoring moments that once felt ordinary but now carried profound meaning. Together, they planted a memorial rose garden on their estate, a living tribute to their journey and a symbol of hope that blossoms even after the harshest winters. Through this heartfelt exit, Tom Selleck reminded us all that even the most storied careers must eventually make room for the real-life chapters that matter most. He showed that the bravest act isn't holding a badge or delivering a one-liner. It's choosing love when the script of life demands our fullest presence. The curtain falling on Blue Bloods marks not just the end of an era for viewers, but a turning point in Tom's life. By choosing to step away from a character he inhabited for 9 seasons, he's granted himself permission to discover who he is beyond the badge. Fans often associate Selleck with unwavering strength and moral clarity, yet off-screen he's always retained a softer side, a devotion to family, horses, and the rugged landscapes that have offered him solace through highs and lows. This departure offers him the space to tend to those passions, free from the relentless demands of shooting schedules and character arcs. As rancher and family man, Selleck plans to immerse himself in the daily routines he's cherished for years. He'll spend mornings riding across rolling fields, guiding younger ranch hands, and perfecting his own horsemanship. Afternoons may find him in the vineyard, pruning vines alongside Jilly, sharing quiet conversations poured over glasses of their estate's Pinot Noir. These simple rituals, often overlooked amid flashing lights and press obligations, have become priceless to Tom. He's also expressed eagerness to revive personal projects, including scripts he's been developing for decades and collaborations with directors who appreciate his authentic screen presence. Despite stepping back from regular television work, Selleck remains an influential presence in Hollywood circles. He's accepted selective cameo roles and voiceover work that allow him creative fulfillment without exhaustive commitments. Recently, he lent his iconic baritone to an animated feature about a retired detective, delighting audiences who instantly recognized his familiar tone. He's also agreed to headline charity galas, often raising significant funds for neurological research. His return to public life will be measured, dripping with intention to avoid the frenzy that accompanied his earlier years. For Tom, every appearance now feels purposeful, rooted in authenticity and empathy. Industry colleagues laud Selleck's decision as a testament to integrity. In interviews, producers speak of his unwavering professionalism, arriving on set prepared, reading every draft, and fostering environments where creativity thrived. Directors who worked with him on Magnum P.I. still recall his insistence on rehearsals that prioritized chemistry over stunt choreography. Blue Bloods showrunners admit they wrote scenes specifically to showcase his emotional nuance rather than action sequences. This deep respect means that even as he bows out, the doors to meaningful collaborations remain open. For many, Tom's career epitomizes how choosing quality over volume cultivates a legacy of enduring respect. As fans navigate life without their beloved Frank Reagan, they find solace in the authenticity Tom Selleck exemplifies. Yet in the quiet of his ranch, Selleck finds his greatest applause in the soft neigh of horses and the gentle rustle of vines. He's embarked on writing his memoirs, determined to chronicle not only the triumphs, but the deeply human moments that shaped him. In sharing his story, he hopes to inspire others to prioritize what matters most and remind us all that saying goodbye can open the door to life's most meaningful chapters. His journey inspires lasting reflection. In Ald As the final camera shot lingered on Frank Reagan's weathered face, viewers across the nation felt a profound hush, a collective recognition that something far deeper than a scripted farewell had unfolded. Tom Selleck's decision to leave Blue Bloods was never about chasing the next big role. It was about honoring the quiet, unspoken commitments that bind us in real life. In the weeks since the finale, Selleck has spent long mornings walking his ranch's dew-soaked fields, the early sunlight glinting off fence posts and hinting at new possibilities. He savors the steady rhythm of chores, feeding horses, inspecting fences, and guiding a fresh foal's first steps, each task an unhurried reminder of life's unadorned joys. This return to routine serves as a counterpoint to decades of scripted drama, underscoring how ordinary moments can carry the deepest meaning. At the same time, Selleck's philanthropic heart continues to beat with generosity. He recently partnered with a neurological research foundation, hosting an intimate dinner on the vineyard grounds where every bottle poured paid tribute to Jilly's courage and the millions battling similar conditions. Colleagues described the evening as a convergence of Hollywood friends and scientific pioneers, united by stories of resilience and hope. Guests left not just with autographed memorabilia, but with a call to action, to support caregivers, fund critical research, and see medical breakthroughs as shared victories rather than distant headlines. In this way, Selleck transforms personal sorrow into collective purpose. Creative projects still beckon, albeit on his own terms. Protecting the integrity of his newfound personal life, he opts for select, meaningful collaborations, voice work in animation, cameo appearances in passion projects, and advisory roles for rising filmmakers. Each opportunity is filtered through a simple question: does this align with my values? If the answer is yes, if the story uplifts, educates, or honors human connection, he commits. Otherwise, he steps away without hesitation. This selective approach reflects the lessons he's learned, that true artistic fulfillment comes not from volume, but from authenticity. The industry's response to Selleck's exit has been one of admiration and introspection. Producers cite his departure as a catalyst for rethinking long-run contracts and actor well-being. There's talk of introducing personal sabbaticals into network agreements, allowing star talent to pause and recharge without fear of being replaced. In writer rooms, conversations now include characters whose arcs parallel those of caregivers, acknowledging the emotional labor so many perform off-screen. In offices once dominated by ratings charts, discussions have shifted toward scripts that explore familial care, medical struggles, and the quiet heroism of everyday life. Stories Tom Selleck lived while no one was watching. For the millions who tuned in to One Last Reagan Family Dinner, Tom's farewell resonated because it mirrored their own experiences of love and loss. Social media posts showcased framed photos of parents and grandparents, stories of sacrifice and devotion, and renewed commitments to spend more time with loved ones. In countless homes, the final episode initiated conversations about balancing career demands with family needs, inspiring viewers to exchange overdue phone calls and plan visits long postponed. In this sense, Selleck's goodbye transcended entertainment. It became a catalyst for real-world connection, proving that when a legend steps aside, the space they leave can be filled with new hope and deeper understanding. In the quiet hush of his ranch at dusk, Tom Selleck reflects on the unexpected journey that began with Hawaiian shirts and Magnum's iconic case files. His career built on screen heroes has come full circle, revealing that true heroism often dwells in everyday acts of love and care. By stepping away from Blue Bloods to tend to Jilly and nurture their shared passions, he's shown that life's most meaningful roles aren't penned by writers, but lived in real time. One comforting hug, one tender meal, one slow walk beside a horse at sunrise. This chapter of Selleck's life reminds us that saying goodbye to a defining role isn't an end, but an evolution. He's embraced voiceover projects that echo his core values, lent his presence to veteran stories, and invited viewers into At Home with the S Ranch, where authenticity reigns and unvarnished moments teach lessons no studio could script. He demonstrates that legacy isn't measured by screen time or awards, but by the quiet impact we make on one another's lives, by the rose garden planted in tribute to love, by scholarships for caregivers, by documentary revenues funneled into research. For audiences who grew up marveling at Magnum's wit or trusting Frank Reagan's counsel, Selleck's departure initially felt like losing a familiar friend. Yet the response has been one of profound empathy. Fans text and tweet stories of loved ones they'll visit more often, conversations they'll finally start, caregiving burdens they'll share. In countless homes, people have paused TV marathons to call parents, siblings, or friends battling illness. Through his choice, Selleck catalyzed a ripple of compassion that outlived the show's finale and now animates living rooms worldwide. As the ranch quiets under a blanket of stars, Tom and Jilly carve out new rhythms. They watch foals find their legs, toast vineyard harvests, and savor the slow magic of seasons unfurling. Their life no longer depends on scripted arcs or ratings reports. It's measured by laughter echoing in horse stalls, by the gentle creak of porch boards, by letters from fans saying, "Your story changed mine." These moments, ordinary yet profound, have become Selleck's greatest scenes. Looking forward, Selleck envisions memoir tours that will bring him into bookstores and community halls, sharing stories that celebrate resilience, prioritize family, and honor love's quiet power. He plans to expand his Ranch Reflections platform, offering online workshops on caregiving best practices and horsemanship tutorials. All proceeds will support caregiver respite programs and neurological research, ensuring that the struggles he's faced become stepping stones for others. In choosing to say goodbye to Frank Reagan, Tom Selleck taught us that sometimes the bravest act is to step off the pedestal, to set down the script, and to stand in the unadorned light of real life. He's shown that our greatest legacies are written not by awards won or characters played, but by the love we give, the presence we maintain, and the empathy we spark. As the ranch gate swings open at dawn and Selleck mounts his horse once more, we're reminded that every sunrise offers a chance to live our own stories with courage and compassion. That, more than any television role, is the life he's chosen and the life he invites us all to embrace.